Welcome to Taking Action. I'm Chris Colombo. With me is Anthony Conover, and we're giving a quick recap of Week 8 in the NFL, and we're going into Week 9. Yeah.
Alrighty, yeah. Week 8, really quickly. Vikings at the Chargers. Chargers get a 37-10 victory. They cover the 3-point spread in that. Jets at the Bengals. Jets get a 39-38 victory. Bengals do not cover that 6.5-point spread, obviously. 49ers at the Texans. Texans win 26-15. They do cover that 1-point spread. Bears at the Ravens. Ravens get a 30-16 victory. They cover that 7-point spread. Dolphins at the Falcons. Big upset here. The Dolphins get a 34-10 victory. Falcons clearly do not cover that 7.5. Bills at the Panthers. Bills get a 40-9 victory there. They cover that 7.5-point spread. Giants at the Eagles. Eagles get a 38-20 victory. Cover that 7-point spread. Browns at the Patriots. Patriots win that one 32-13. They cover the 7-point spread. Buccaneers at the Saints. Bucks win 23-3, cover the 6.5. Titans at the Colts. Colts win 38-14, and they do cover that 14-point spread there. Cowboys at the Broncos. Broncos get a 44-24 victory. They cover the 3.5. Packers at the Steelers. That was a Sunday night game.
That was our pick.
That was the pick. Packers get a 35-25 victory. They do cover the 3.5. And then last night, Monday Night Football, the Commanders at the Chiefs. Chiefs get a 28-7 victory, and they do cover the 10.5.
Now, if you're looking at it, like I said, listen, who says their line is correct? So you should assume a line for yourself and why you did it, and then look at the way the scores came out, because there's not a line that was close this week.
No, I mean, and a lot of upsets, of course.
Upset or not, there's not a line that was close.
Yeah. A lot of these were...
Theoretically, with the line, everybody should have pushed, unless there's a hook. Because then what the lines makers saying is they don't want to push. So if you're going to handicap, that's how you started out. You put what you think your line is. Don't be influenced by them. Because I'm going to tell you why. I haven't seen them close.
No, I mean, you just look at some of them. 3-point spread in the Vikings and Chargers. That was off by what?
I'd
24?
like to be able to explain to you, like I've always known in the past, how Vegas set a line before artificial intelligence. I don't know what they put into it. That's why I'm a little careful about what I say. Who was the guy I gave a shout out to with the Cowboys?
Oh man, I'd have to. You know what? Let me go back to it.
Let me go back to him this week. He said a very interesting thing about Week 7 and Week 8. I feel the same way. Last week I would have liked to take off if I could have, but people get upset. I don't know why, but it ain't there. It's not there.
Last week, that would be our guy.
I mean, he says some nasty stuff, but he does say stuff that makes sense. So I listen to the stuff that makes sense. But I tell you one thing, it takes moxie to put your bets up.
Yeah.
And, it's easy to be a Monday morning
Terry Paulson, that's who it was.
What?
Terry Paulson.
Yeah, Terry Paulson. I'd like to have him on the show. He said some interesting stuff, and a lot of stuff he says I agree with. And even if I didn't agree with, there's stuff you can learn. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be interactive here. Not sit and wait for something I say wrong to attack me. Although, if that's fun for you, go ahead and do it, but it ain't going to help you win any bets. And it's not going to make us any smarter. But, however, if he wants to come on, he's welcome to come on if he wants to do interactive. I like what he says. He's so far, so many things he said. I think he bets too many games, but, to each their own. Quicksand, when you bet a lot of games and things can go wrong, and you've seen them. I've seen them. I mean, in the Packer game, it was a miracle defensive play that stopped them on the offensive offsides that they didn't even call. You had 2 players cross the neutral zone and, ran almost to the quarterback.
The worst part about that for me is, that's what Aaron Rodgers is known for. That's his thing, is getting a defensive jump off.
So you watch for that as if you're a ref.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on about the NFL. You had mentioned something earlier. What were you going to say? Yeah,
not even the NFL, the NBA, too. Their big, gambling ring, that kind of came out. Terry Rozier, player that's on the Heat, they figured out that he was I guess the word that they're using for is like is shaving his stats. So he told people
When you shave, you win, but you don't win by the spread.
Yeah, he told people that to bet his under on a certain game, and then he went and played for a quarter, and then
No, that's not shaving. That's straight out fixing the game.
Okay. Well, and then he went out with a foot injury for the rest of the game. So he told him to bet his under, and then he goes out and has a foot injury on purpose.
Well, you can't always guarantee that to win, especially in a total. I'll tell you a story when I was bookmaking. There was a group of guys, not that I would know or have any knowledge of it. This is strictly conjuncture and alleged, but they had a ref in college basketball, and the guy was a degenerate gambler. He was a degenerate gambler, and he'd bet on anything. But what he would do is he would tell you to pay overs in a game, and he'd just keep sending people to the foul line. And I never forget, the over was close. And it was a record amount of times that he sent in the last minute or so to the line, but they just missed all the foul shots. So the game went under, and a lot of people bet heavy on it and took a beating, and the bookmakers cleaned up. There's also been times where there was also an alleged that in basketball, there's the bar by Madison Square Garden when you go in. At a couple players during the game have run off because they got the runs, so to speak. And it was alleged that one of the part-time bartenders, when they come in and have a club soda or whatever they were drinking, put Visine in there. More you see with legalized gambling and the more people betting and the more accepted, the more you're going to see people trying to beat the system. But sometimes it's not always a guarantee, even with a player in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, because I think this is the third stint we've seen of this in the NBA. Because last year, I can't remember his name, is Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. He was a low end player on the Trailblazers, but he got caught doing the exact same thing. Like, oh, you should bet this for me, and then I'm just going to not do it. Kind of the same thing. So this is 2 years in a row with that.
Look at Pete Rose. He never bet as a player, but he bet as a manager. But he always bet on himself.
Bet on his team to win.
Yeah. And so Cinder didn't put him in the Hall of Fame. I thought he was one of the top 5 baseball players that ever played.
Most hits of all time. And of course now, he unfortunately passes away, and now they take him off the exempt list, and he's available for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they did the same thing to Jim Thorpe. I thought it was disgraceful. But anyway, moving forward, let's go with today's. Last week was a bad week. I don't expect this week to be much better. Thursday night game, you got the Ravens -7.5 at open and went to 7 against the Dolphins. I don't lay those kind of points. I don't know if the Dolphins can renew the magic they had. Lamar's back. He's playing good. I think some of the defensive players are back.
Yep.
I don't know. It's home team underdog. I don't like to take points to the Dolphins last week. I said that they couldn't score, and they scored. I don't know what the hell they scored.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Okay, Bears at the Bengals. Open 1.5, went to 2. Total was 48.5 and went to 52.5. They're expecting scoring. That was a hell of a move on the total. It opened 1.5 and went to 2. I like the Bengals in that game. I think Joe Flacco scored a lot of points since he's back. I'm not saying the Bears are a bad team because the Bengals are not the greatest, but they seem to be motivated with Flacco, but sometimes he stalls. But I do like the Bengals plus the 2. Is it 2.5?
Yeah, it's 2.5 now.
2.5 plus the 2.5. 1.5 to 2.5. So they're favoring the Bears. I don't see it. Home team underdog. I like the Bengals. 49ers -3 went to 2.5 against the Giants. 49ers are banged up. I think the Giants are banged up too. 46.5 was the total. It opened, went to 48.5. So they expected some scoring there. I think they're both banged up, right?
Yeah, I mean, Giants, Cam Scatterboo.
Didn't they lose their running back?
Yeah, Cam Scatterboo. Yeah. The ankle was literally sideways. That was a nasty one. So, and then the 49ers, I mean, they've been dealing with injuries.
If you put my feet to the fire, I got to like the Giants in that front four. But I think their starting running back that broke his ankle was the backup.
Yeah.
And their starting running back is back. So In order for them to win, I think they got to run the ball. Okay. Falcons and Patriots. Patriots opened 2.5, went to 5. Falcons took a bad beating from the Miami Dolphins. They're on the road now to the Patriots. I think they lost at home to the Dolphins, too.
Yeah, Falcons were at home in that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't book it. I wouldn't bet it. Colts opened 1.5 and went to 3 against the Steelers. I mean, sooner or later, runs come to an end, but the Colts are scoring more points than any team has scored so far in NFL history. They do. Some people are due for a letdown. I don't think it's that team. I think they play wide open. Is the way they go. Steelers didn't show me much against the Packers, especially the newer Watt is the highest
TJ.
The highest paid.
Defensive player, I believe.
I believe he didn't show me anything. He hasn't shown me anything. I like the Colts in that game, even though I don't like to go against home team underdog. Panthers and the Packers. Packers really didn't show me much against the Steelers either. 12.5 points. I wouldn't lay it, but I could see a backdoor cover there. I could see the Packers not saying taking the Panthers serious. I think the Pack has a serious game the following week, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they're playing the Eagles on Monday night.
They're playing the Eagles on Monday night, gives them an extra day, but the Eagles are a tough team, so I don't know if they'll take the Panthers serious. So let's just put that in our back pocket is if you have to take 12.5 points, that's not a bad game to take. Okay, Vikings, that's a division game against the Lions. Opened 7, went to 8.5. Totals 48.5, went to 47.5. Lions are tough at home. They put up points, but I believe a couple things happened for the Vikings. Right?
Yeah, J.D. McCarthy is back from his injury, and then Carson Wentz obviously is out now. He just had season-ending shoulder surgery, so J.J. McCarthy is back steering the ship.
Very confusing, but I don't lay 8.5. Okay, and we got the Broncos at the Texans. Broncos open 1.5, went to 1. Texans are a home team underdog with total moved the point 38.5 to 39.5, which is about the average of a football game should be scored. Even immediate low scoring.
Two really good defenses in that.
Two really good defenses. Even though the Broncos put up some points, 39.5, it's going up. I got to go against that. I think if you're going to play anything, the under is what you like in that game. Okay. Chargers at Titans, opened at 7.5, went to 10. Titans are home, 43.5. The total went to 42.5. It just depends on how much Herbert wants to air out the ball against the Titans. I don't lay 10, and I'm scared to take 10 with the Titans. But then again, I said that with Miami when we said it was whatever. Those bigger spreads scare me. Okay, Jacksonville at Raiders. Jacksonville is -3. Didn't move. The totals went from 44.5 to 45.5. I got to tell you, I don't love it, but if you put my feet to the fire, I like the Raiders plus the 3 home team underdog. Saints against the Rams. The Rams 11.5 went to 13.5. It's 45.5. Dropped to 44.5. I don't see what the reason for that point is, especially with a 13.5 point spread. I mean, they cover the spread. They almost get to total on the over. But stranger things have happened. I don't lay 13.5. I can't.
Yeah, new quarterback for the Saints this week as well. Tyler, I don't even know how to say his last name. Replacing Spencer Rattler. See how his career starts.
Okay, let's go into the Chiefs at Bills. Chiefs opened 1.5 at Bills, still at 1.5, I believe. Total went from 50.5 to 51.5. They're expecting a shootout. Okay. I like the Bills a lot there. I think the Bills are playing solid football, and I think they play very well at home. They haven't done. I think they beat the Chiefs a lot during the regular season. It's in the playoffs they've had a problem.
Exactly.
I like the Bills in that game, but I like the fact that it's not a Monday night or a Thursday night or a Sunday night game because weird things happen on prime time.
Got it over there.
Yeah, it's over here. Okay, let's go into the Sunday night game. Seahawks -3 at Commanders. I don't like to go against home team underdogs. I think the Seahawks are a very solid organization. I think the Vikings were crazy for giving up their quarterback. I think he's playing as well for the Seahawks as he did for the Vikings.
Oh,
this
yeah.
year. I don't know how you can win 14 games and somebody trade you.
Coming off of a bye, too, so
He's
they had
coming
the
off
extra
of a
week.
bye. I don't like to go against home team underdog, but if you want my opinion, the Seahawks. Okay. Cardinals at Cowboys. Cardinals at the Cowboys. Cowboys -3. I have no opinion on that game Monday night. None whatsoever. They're saying it's pick 'em. I allow for 3 points for home team, but I have absolutely no opinion. Now, we put our pick in Monday night.
Yep.
Anthony put the pick in. People who bet the juice reel should watch the first part of the show. Okay. When I have a losing week, which is actually my second, but we've had 3 losers in 9 weeks. I take a back step, but I threw a parlay in. I don't think you should bet a lot on it just to watch it. I always bet the same amount. That does not scare me to lose a position because I know I will get it back. It's actually, I took the points. It's not a money dog parlay, which is dangerous, but they're the 2 teams that I liked as a backup, but I let Anthony pick this week because after a losing week, I regroup. But those are my 2 picks, and I put them in a parlay. Pays okay. Don't go balls to the wall with it. Just throw a little something on it to watch it. Maybe get a position back for to start the season off. But this week's pick, Anthony put in. Was he on the juice reel? I agree with it. But the 2 teams that I liked, I threw in a parlay. Okay. Anything else?
No. You got it all done.
You got it all done. Well, going back to the fixed stuff, the refs were always suspect getting together and fix a few games because you saw some stuff, and that was the reason for instant replay. Don Shula was the victim of it an awful lot. I think they had something against the Dolphins, or just the people like to bet them because they were a powerhouse 2 years in a row. Still the only team that, so I think they got their money line. They got the value of their money, but he was the one that pushed it because of the strange things that happened to him. I never forget in the playoff game against, I believe it was the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is what really freaked them out. That it was snowing so bad that you could barely play. I mean, I'm serious. And I don't think anybody scored a touchdown in the game. They were missing field goals, or there might have been 1 or 2. I forgot. But they took a timeout, and it was like only a few seconds left to play, and they needed a field goal. And they brought out the plows and plowed for him to kick the field goal. And that was another reason for instant replay and a lot of the other rules that if they didn't do it for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were in cold weather, that's your reason for instant replay. But Don Shula was the one that pushed it. He took a lot of heat for it. It came through. But we always were suspect to the refs doing the game because they're really the only ones that really can.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA, and this is, like I said, it's, obviously not the NFL, but NBA already had their big, scandal all those years ago with the referee that was on the books for people. So this is like their 3rd time. And
there's more than that. They just don't get caught.
Oh, I'm sure.
People want to make a quick buck. Gambling is legal, and you got a lot of people get desperate because, they're in desperate situations. I don't know why they always blame what they call the mob, but I guess they do. But anyway, that's always the allure into it. But the most of what I've seen, it was, I don't want to go into it. But anyway, I'll tell you why in football. I'll tell you, remember, it was one Sunday, and we took a tremendous bets on the Dallas Cowboys, and during the glory years of Roger Staubach, who was a very, very fine, disciplined quarterback. And never forget, and you can look it up, and he gets knocked out early. So we figured this is it. We're going to clean up on this game. They put in a guy named Clint Longley. I don't think he ever played again. I think it's the only game he played for the thing. You can look him up. They gave him the name the Mad Bomber. He threw like 70-yard bombs to get touchdowns. I don't know if the team they were playing was neglecting. Look at it. Clint Longley, Dallas Cowboys. Even if you have the knowledge of play out, it doesn't always, or a player takes himself out, it doesn't always make a difference in football. In basketball, it certainly does.
I do see Clint Longley.
You do see him?
Yeah.
What does it say?
Let's see. Was on the Cowboys from 74 to 75. Let's see. They got any stats for him somewhere? Let's see if I can
I
find
think that's the only game he played.
see if I can find some stats.
Well, put the game where he comes in, he throws, I believe it was 3 mad bombs.
Let's see.
He nicknamed him the Mad Bomber.
He played 2 games in 74 through 2 touchdowns. And he played 4 games in 75 through 1 touchdown.
Now, the game I'm talking about is when they named him the Mad Bomber.
The only other game he played was in 76, and he threw 2 touchdowns.
But one they could say he was the Mad Bomber. He came in for his premiere debut.
Let's see. This one says, Clinton Longley, a rookie QB, led the Cowboys to an improbable win on Thanksgiving 1974, 2 touchdowns in the final quarter.
And he threw some passes that didn't go for touchdowns for long yardage. They had no answer for him. Meanwhile, we were waiting for Thanksgiving and Clip we ate our turkey. Another Thanksgiving story wasn't that many years ago. That was 3 seconds left on the clock, and the Oakland Raiders were guaranteed to win the game. The only way they could lose the game is if they gave up a touchdown in 3 seconds. But to cover, they needed the field goal with 3 seconds left. Al Davis puts on his which you wouldn't do. You would take a knee because, God forbid, it's blocked.
Yeah.
You could run it back and lose the game. So there's things like that happen that make you suspect.
It was funny. I was watching Sunday Night Football.
Naturally, I was on the wrong side of that, so I was.
The betting culture's very ingrained in everything, though, because I was watching Sunday Night Football and Al Michaels on the broadcast was talking. He was like, "This game isn't over," and the game technically. Yeah. And he's trying to like hint at it without actually saying it. So it's ingrained.
A lot of just go out and say it.
Yeah, it's. In
the old days, Don Meredith was known for doing it. Frank Gifford was known, and Alex Karras was just out of his mind on Monday Night Football. But point of the matter is, the more culture you have of people betting, the more suspect people are going to be for something wrong. Okay, this is Chris Colombo signing off, wishing you a very, very good week. Good luck, and I will see you next week.